Coming next, the United States of America, or govern the world with anarchy. You know the word anarchy, and you know the country, United States of America. Remember, in the world where everything is in order, yes, the world where everything is on the place, it is impossible to steer people to follow like blind sheep and jump afterwards in precipice. Yeah? If everything here inside is okay, the way it should be, nobody can tell you to jump into precipice, correct? In order to make you jump into precipice, the government have to create you insane here inside. In other words, anarchy, what we have today. That is why anarchy like the one we witnessed today is taking place. This anarchy, however, is taking place already since 70s. The reason? So people are actually jumping into precipice while nobody knows anything about it. This is so-called democracy in which we live in. And folks, the best example of it, the best example of jumping people into precipice, I will show you later on. But, however, the best example of getting people to be a good example, to show us how to jump into precipice, actually have taken place on what was 9/11. You remember the people? The towers, the burning towers, and people jumping into precipice? They were the best, believe me, the best example to show us how to jump down into precipice.
Now, folks, do you remember 9/11? Do you remember it? To me, 9/11 is not going to stay in memory because of the burning flames of huge towers and plane crashes in the buildings only, but foremost, more than anything, because of this little people here. This little people jumping into precipice, the end, jumping not because so much of the flames, not so much because of the heat, but jumping because of the desperacy, because there was no way out for them, and they knew that there was no way out of them. The hope left them. You know that hope I was talking about? The hope left them. They were left to what is uncertainty. You know, uncertainty, there is so much involved and pushed into your lives, into our lives. They were left to dismay. They were left to horror, terror. And this is what you see here. It was the beginning. It was the beginning of what already was taking place. I should say it was a beginning on a larger scale from what already was taking place against us since 70s. Psychosis, neurosis, crisis caused by terror, and final solution, to which we witness both in our lives and here in this video. Jumping in democracies, so-called Western democracies. These are the dead people I want you to see. That's more than 200 of them. United Kingdom, France, Germany, Scandinavia, countries like Sweden and Norway, Canada, and of course the one and only anarchist state, United States of America, the pioneer of the terrorism, the main violator of human rights in this world, the initiator.
You will learn how military of doctors and nurses can be effectively used as tool to keep masses of people tapping in the dark, while those are driving themselves insane for decades, not only for years, and in the end reject all responsibilities or financial liabilities to its victims by simply announcing what are now bankruptcies. Oh yes, yes, not only companies, but entire states, countries, states such as Greece, for example, just lately. Soon Spain, etc., or perhaps even entire European Union have now started to declare what are known as bankruptcies. Now, who could settle for such a lies? I mean, that even entire countries, such as even unions, like European unions, are getting bankrupt. When just yesterday, we're talking about daily, about, and even today, about hundreds of billions, like it was not for the money, like it's for the dust. Yes, we will give a package of, I don't know, 300 billion, 200 billion, I don't know, 800 billion, billion here, billion there, billion this. Who can settle? Who can possibly settle for such lies? Who can settle for that? It's a great question who? You, my friend. You and your families who are driven insane. And why? Yes, why? So you freely give up from claiming what is yours, or what was, in other words, stolen away from you. Financial liabilities, my friends. Financial liabilities, money. Financial liabilities for persecutions which have taken place against you and about which you will learn in continuation how was it done. Simply due to quantity of massive insanity thrown on you. And as previously just stated, military of doctors and nurses who have abilities or rights to perform most brutal procedures against non-compliant population. The governmental rights which have authorized them to perform terror in a form of various, from psychosurgeries, electroconvulsive procedures, medicines which simply burn brains, turning people into basically vegetation state, and using them further to terrorize entire societies. Any society which was compliant with what I have stated was and is so-called Western democracy society. Unfortunately, things didn't change at all. Well, how is it possible? We even have a humanists people, and you are talking to us about all of this. And the humanists, the best people to be around with, safest and kindest people, who want to make sure how everyone in this world gets his rights and is doing well? Ha ha ha. Yeah, sure, humanists. Their rights, his rights, yes, sure, but not your rights. Not rights yours or your family of your own. No dignity, no pride, no honor as far as your rights. As far as rights, the only thing you will ever get are what I have mentioned previously. That is why it's important to understand word humanist before we go further. It is important to understand who defends our so-called rights. Not only ours, but most importantly, rights of our children.